Hello YouTube viewers, I have a little update for you, one that some of you are going to be thrilled by, some a little bit annoyed by, some ho-hum, so you're welcome and apologies depending on which one suits you. I've just finished doing a comparison of the WiiM Mini, the WiiM Pro, the EverSolo DMP-A8 and the Lumen D3, all the different streaming stages of those products. So not using the internal DACs, just only a digital output and putting that into the Chord M scaler, into the TT2 and out to the Meza Elites being driven directly by the TT2 for maximum transparency. Sorry about the noise there. And what I've just discovered is a little bit troubling in some ways. And that's because it goes against what I said in my review of the WiiM range. In the WiiM range review, I said that there was no difference at all between the WiiM Pro, Pro Plus, etc. and the EverSolo DMP-A6 and therefore the A8, because in my mind they perform similarly. I need to go back on that a little bit, only a little tiny bit. What I've just discovered, and this was driving the WiiM Pros from a really high quality power source. It's a battery source that I know provides really good power. I've used it on everything from the M scaler through to various DACs that will take a 5-volt input. It's been a really good source of power for me. So I know it's clean, I know it's way better than a cheap switch mode power supply. The thing that I found was that the WiiM Mini probably got a little bit better with the power supply, the battery power supply. It didn't catch up to the Pro with the battery power supply. And then what surprised me was that even running the power supply with the battery, even running the battery power supply into the WiiM Pro, when I compared the optical output, so I used the exact same optical cable from the WiiM Pro to the M scaler, I disconnected that, plugged that into the EverSolo DMP-A8 using just its streaming stage, and with everything bit perfect, everything max volume, so there's no volume controls involved or anything like that, there was a little improvement going to the A8. I'll describe it in detail in the review. I didn't want to go into it in detail now, but I wanted to just quickly come back and say, those of you that watched my WiiM range review, what I said there is mostly true. The nuance that I probably missed in that review because of the way I was testing, I wasn't testing with super high-end gear because I don't necessarily know that the WiiM range is directed at people with high-end gear, so I stuck to kind of mid-tier stuff. What I found is that now going to the M scaler, so we're talking I don't know what it is currently in US dollars, but it's probably an $8,000-9,000 US dollar stack with the maybe not quite that high, $7,000 US dollars with the M scaler and the TT2. Going to a level of that type of DAC setup and headphone amplifier in this case as well, that is able to reveal things that what I tested with before was not. From memory in the WiiM range review, I only used the DAC within, sorry about the shaking, I only used the DAC within the A6, the EverSolo DMP-A6, so it's a good solid DAC, but it's not in any way an exceptional DAC. I may have used the Jeshelli Labs J2S, I can't remember, but either way I didn't use a super duper high-end DAC, and I think that's probably what's affected the results of that review a little bit, but it's also probably indicative of what most people are going to hear unless they're plugging it into a really high-end system. So I won't give away the full game of what the Lumen D3 review is going to contain. All I will say is there's some surprises along the way. Just to give you an idea, this is the setup I've been working with. Ignore the Gemini there, that was from a podcast and interview episode that I've got coming with Sparko's Labs. That's Andrew and Elisa from Sparko's Labs. But what I've been doing now is testing the D3. You can see there with the blue display, the WiiM Pro up there on top with the battery supply that I was using, and then the EverSolo DMP-A8 down the bottom there. That was all fed into the M scaler and TT2 and out to the Meza Elites. So that was the setup, and as it's been quite surprising to me, those that believe digital is digital, it's not quite. There's a bit more to it than that, it seems. I'm not going to try and explain it because I don't understand it either. It makes no logical sense to me, but the reality is I'm hearing differences going from the Mini to the Pro, from the Pro to the A8, again talking streaming stages only, and then also there's a difference between the A8 and the D3 that I'm going to leave to the review because I don't want to spoil everything. It's going to be fun to watch the whole review. There's a lot more testing I have to do with the D3 as well. I've only done a quick comparison, I shouldn't say quick, I've done a detailed comparison between the A8 and the D3, but what I haven't done yet is compared things like the versatility of it, the connectivity of it, the DAC stage in it, if you're running a line out direct into a headphone amp or a power amp, etc. So all that stuff that I still have to work out. So I won't try and cover off everything about the D3 other than to say it's a lovely device. But yeah, I just want to jump in here and quickly say that there is actually a difference between the WiiM range and a higher end streamer, but only if you've got high end gear. So it doesn't completely change what I said in the WiiM review. I stand by that. If you're running DACs around the Shelly Labs J2S, Shit by Frost 2 would be a good example as well. That sort of level, that $700, $1,000 type device. So that to me is where the those products really sit well, and you're not going to hear a huge difference, if any difference, going from a WiiM Pro to a better quality streamer on those systems, because there's an element of bottlenecking there. But if you are running a higher end system, then pause yourself on buying the WiiM based on my previous review, if that's what you were thinking of doing. If it's not too late, I hope it isn't, because yeah, the higher end streamers will provide benefits on higher end systems. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see the full review of the D3. The results from all this testing are going to be quite interesting, I think, and that's going to come out in early January. So full details then. Just want to provide a quick update for now, and I hope I haven't sent anyone down the wrong path. It's always, or I should say it's never my intention. It's obviously never my intention to do that. I always try to give you the fullest, clearest answer, but as is often the case, there are so many nuances and variables in this hobby of ours where the source chain around a device can alter what you can hear from that device, and that's what's happened in the WiiM review. So great for mid-range gear, not so much if you want to get the absolute maximum out of really high-end gear. You probably do want to do better than the WiiMs. Not that they're bad, but you can do better if that's what you want, and that's the key takeaway. So quick update from me, lots more to come in the D3 review early in January, and plenty more content in between now and then, but I just wanted to give you this quick update. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon.